We're going to cover, so like I mentioned, I knew from last time too, the questions that people had after the How To Summit that we wanted to answer was, how much can you possibly earn? How do you price yourself? What are the different services you can offer? And how it can enhance your current client relationships, creating, additional revenue, boost your brand's value. And then we had a week of specials that were really significant that we've never done before at the How To Summit, and we've turned that back on, and I'll go through what those specials are for one more week if you're interested in taking advantage of that opportunity as well. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Cathi Nelson. I'm the CEO and founder of the Photo Managers. I'm also the author of 2 books, Photo Organizing Made Easy, Going from Overwhelmed to Overjoyed, and a business roadmap for professional photo managers. But more importantly, I am really passionate about helping people tell their family stories through their photos, videos, and meaningful keepsake items. So I'm excited to share with you about photo organizing and how can, again, those things that I mentioned. And I'm also going to share the results of our first member-wide survey answering those questions that you had, which is new. The survey just came out. It was the first time in 15 years. I started this organization 15 years ago, and it's the first major survey we've done. So I think you'll be excited to see some of those results. But before I jump into that, I always want to root people into the why this is so important. Why is there such a growing need for professional photo managers, and why should you even considering it? I often tell people the idea of organizing photos is kind of like watching paint dry, right? There's nothing very exciting or sexy about that, but that's because it's not the why. The why is because in each of those photos is a story, it's a memory, it's a connection, it's a feeling, it's historical information, and it's so much more. We take photos and videos to tell the stories of our lives. We save our kids' artwork, our baby's first shoes, a favorite blanket, your grandmother's treasured teapot, because they connect us to our history, to our family, and to our memories. And today we just have way too many of them, right? We have analog printed photos, we have slides, negatives from the past trapped in old faded photo albums. We have old phone movies on formats that you can't view, right? Who has a VCR tape anymore or camcorder? And then forget our digital collection, right? Just on our phones alone, if we did a survey, how many photos? And it's so funny because everybody thinks they have the most photos, but really, I promise you, if you have less than 60 or 70,000 photos on your camera roll, you're not in too bad a shape. So, and nobody has the time to weed through those photos, right? And find the ones that really matter. And so that's the work of a professional photo manager or photo organizer. It's that connecting the client with the why. And that's the key heart of why this work is so important. If there was a fire, a flood, a hurricane, which unfortunately are happening so much, what is the one thing that once we know our family members and our pets and everybody is really safe, the one thing people are most devastated about losing, right, are their photos. And you see that on the news all the time, because it's our photos and videos that really are a big part of who we are and tell the stories of our lives. Okay, so that's the why. I wanted to root you in that quickly. So let's just go through this survey. And Darla, actually, she's here. She's in the chat, and there's a great photograph of her. So the biggest question that we got from folks at the How To Summit was, how do you charge? How much do you charge for your time? What are the service you provide? So here is the answers to a survey that we did in April. We had 571 photo managers. We sent it out. 313 people responded. We know that we'll have 100, probably a much higher percentage now that the members that didn't respond have seen what we're doing with this information, and it really helps them. But first of all, who are photo managers, right? Of those that responded, 90% of our members currently live in the US, they're college educated, and they're age 40 and older. Now, that probably isn't a surprise, but we have a growing group of men joining, so this number will change. And we do have members and we have quite a few members in Canada. We have a great group in Europe and also in Australia. In fact, in Europe, we just had our second meetup in Amsterdam, and Darla, who I mentioned, who's in the chat, was there. But this is the demographic of who are the photo managers. 2/3 of our members reported that they do this either part-time or full-time. For the remaining 1/3, it's like a side gig or a second act career. Over 40% of those who work at it part-time or full-time have been doing this for at least 5 years. So it suggests that this is a long-term sustainable career choice. It's not a new thing, even though it seems like it if it's new to you. We have many members who've been doing this for 5+ years and 10 years. What is the annual revenue, right? People ask this question again all the time. So based on this survey, 26% of our members reported over 50,000 in gross revenue, and 10% of making over 100,000. And those 1/3 that were in the lower less than 5,000 were probably brand new members just getting started and just, or maybe not taking it as a serious business. But yes, you can make good money strictly, this is the only business, when they reported it was strictly for photo manager. How many years have people been in business? 26% of our members said they've been in business less than 1 year, but we have over so I've got my the people's 20% have been in business over 10 years. So, and 1/3 have been in business 5 years. So again, this is a long-term viable career piece of business that people can add to their businesses. Those that worked part-time and have been in business over 5 years are the ones that reported making in that 10 to 50,000 range. And then once they switch over to more part-time, more full-time, it makes sense that it increases dramatically, right? Over 50,000 from 18 to 76%, because the more time you're putting into something, obviously the more income and revenue you'll earn. So again, this is what is the 40% of members that do it full-time reported earning over that six-figure amount of money. So who are the clients that hire photo managers? I think you'll find they're the clients that probably already hire you, right? They're also very similar in the demographics to the members that we have. 90% of them are women, age 40 and over, and many of them are also married. So these are the people that are hiring professional photo managers. Here's a good statistic. How many new clients does a professional photo manager serve per month? 2/3 said they receive at least 1 to 2 new clients per month, with over a quarter of them saying 3 or more clients a month. But this was the really key demographic. I think that's really interesting. Over 80% of the respondents work with clients more than once. So it's an ongoing trusted relationship, because you know what? Everybody keeps life happens. And once you become the person who knows the family and understands their photos and who's who, you'll be the person they contact when maybe there's a death in the family and they need a video montage for the funeral, or memorial boards, or a wedding, something more exciting. A wedding is going to happen, or maybe somebody, a new baby is born and they want a photo album of a new baby, or a client, they inherit photos from somebody else. I mean, right, there's this ongoing relationship that's really common with your clients. The average client spends anywhere from 500 of a low, I think it's probably quite low, to 1,500, where 30% of our members say their clients spend considerably more. The average is $5,000. And then many of our members have report very high paying clients then most of those have been in business 5 years or more. So that suggests as well that with experience, you're going to attract more clients willing to spend money on professional photo management services. We have many members who can report, $40,000, $50,000, $75,000 jobs based on an entire family's collection of photos and things that they're working with. What are the services that photo managers provide? So over 40% said that digital photo organizing, printed photo organizing, and scanning are their top services and the most profitable. 16%, only 16% say that they offer all of the services, which I'll talk about in a minute, because it can get overwhelming. And there are so many, we're like a big tent, and so many things fit under this big tent, like photo book design, transferring of old home movies, legacy, genealogy work and things like that. So we'll talk in a little bit about why you do what you love and outsource the rest. The average project is about 20 hours and takes anywhere from 2 to 2 months. So this is probably different a little bit from what your projects usually look like when you go into a home and you complete a project maybe in 1 day or over a series of time. A lot of our businesses that a photo manager does is a project that takes time to do. And usually the good news is there's not a big time demand on it. A lot of times there's not, if the boxes have been sitting in their garage or basement for, years, they're not like, oh, I need them back next week. So this is a great business also that can fit in the nooks and crannies of your business when you have some downtime. And then just an example of reach is that 90% of our members, we know that we reach over 3.5 million people between all of the social media that we're all doing together. And so this is important for the companies that we partner with. We have amazing partnerships with companies that I'll talk about in another minute that look to us as kind of their liaison to their customer base. So I also should have mentioned at the beginning to go ahead and put in the chat if you have any questions, because we'll leave plenty of time for Q&A at the end here. So here was the big question that a lot of people felt like they wanted this answer to. How do photo managers charge for their time? We recommend that you start with a competitive hourly rate, probably the hourly rate that you're already using. We always say to new photo managers join, what is a residential organizer, a senior move manager, a bookkeeper? What do they charge in your area? You're going to set your price at the same price. And from there, then people often use hourly, package pricing, and item-based to offer flexibility to their clients. So the first thing though, when you start with a new client is you're going to want to understand what are their goals, what is the condition of their photo collection. So as a member of the photo managers, we actually provide you with a needs assessment so that you can then eventually upgrade this and change it to fit whatever you want, put your own branding on it. But this is part of the member benefit because we know that, people don't have this already created. So everything that we do at the photo managers is trying to offer our members a turnkey solution so that they don't have to reinvent the wheel. But you'd be amazed at the number of questions that you can ask a client as you try to understand, where are their photos? Is it digital photos? Is it analog photos? If I could wave a magic wand over this collection at the end of the day, what would be most exciting to you? So it's that goal setting is the first part the first conversation that you want to have with your client. And then photo managers use measurements, right? A shoebox of photos is about 600, has about 600 4x6 photos in it. And the average cost of scanning a shoebox is about 600. So now many of our members also offer a 30-minute consultation via their website. And as you grow in experience, you'll get better and better at asking the right questions to understand, what it is that the client needs. And Mary, who's joining us here, is going to drop in the chat 3 different members' websites to give you an example about how each member showcases their services and how they all offer a free assessment. You should be seeing in the chat Holly Corbett in Minnesota. She only offers photo organizing. And then we've also linked Darla DeMoro's business. She joined again at the How To Summit. She offers multiple services, including residential organizing, home staging, and photo organizing is just one part of her business. And then I'm just showing Jill Yesko in Pittsburgh. She offers residential organizing, senior downsizing, and photo organizing. So you'll see that many members that we have offer multiples of different kinds of services. Okay, back on this idea of digitizing. Another way to price is that people use for pricing is there's about 100 photos in an inch. So the average cost of scanning per photo slide or negative, you'll have to research your area and decide what kind of pricing that you want to charge. But most of our members report anywhere from $1 or $2 per slide or per photo. Home movies such as VCR tapes, camcorders also can range in price anywhere from $20 to $35. And everybody has those. Again, this is one of those projects that you can do it yourself or you can outsource it to a trusted partner who usually offers a referral fee or discount. So now most members will charge their hourly fee in addition when they're scanning if they have to remove photos from albums and frames, do a lot of cleanup and dusting. So this is just to give you a general concept of how pricing works. Now, I mentioned there are so many diverse services a photo manager may or may not offer. And we always, again, recommend this idea that you do what you love and outsource the rest. You are truly a project manager when you take on photo organizing because there's so many things you can do. From photo book design to digital photo organizing to coaching. Some members have a whole coaching practice to just photo curating, photo restoration, legacy storytelling, backing up people's photos, scanning letters and kids' artwork, creating visual montages, memorial boards for funerals, right? It keeps growing and growing, which is why our members report 80% repeat clients. So as a member, you will learn how to price your services and create packages as you determine the amount of time a project takes. And that comes from experiencing networking within our community. So again, that idea of package pricing. So say you set your rate is, $150 an hour, a 10-hour package would be $1,500. And then from that, we encourage our members also to use a timer and you become more and more proficient in understanding how long it takes you to do certain projects and things. So hopefully that's kind of answered that question. And again, if you can put it in the chat. It's way too much to go through in a short webinar like we are doing today, but I did want to make sure that we covered those topics and kind of answered that burning question that we knew people had. So now I'm going to take you, I want you to answer, we have 2 different levels of membership, and let's have you do a true and false since you're just listening to me, and it gives you time to actually get engaged here a little bit. So answer grab a piece of paper, count on your fingers, true or false. 1 is I already have a business and I want to add photo organizing as a service, but I need training and pricing, workflows, and operations. 2 is I'm looking to earn additional income part-time or full-time doing work that is meaningful and creative. 3, I feel people better knowing everything first before I'm comfortable telling people what to do or what I do. My photos aren't organized, but I know I want to start a business helping families and businesses tell their stories with their photos, videos, and keepsake items. And last of all, I'm unsure if I want to start a business, but I do want to get my photos organized so I can share my photo story. So based on your answer to those questions, that'll help you understand what level of membership that would make sense. If your answers were mostly true, then you're the perfect fit to join our professional community. If your answers were more false, then we created something called Photo Manager in Training. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And if your answers were maybe, then again, that maybe Photo Manager in Training is a better place for you to go. So what is our Photo Managers in Training? This is something we started actually in January, and we have over 100 and I think 40 or 50 people going through this. It's a one-year guided curriculum that includes on-demand courses on printed and digital photo organizing, access to 22 of our webinars, monthly email prompts, a virtual work group, monthly networking meetings, and support if you decide to upgrade and become a professional photo manager at some point. So that is $299. It's $299 for that 1-year training. And then we've had some, quite a few people then will upgrade, and we do not add that additional fee on. We'll just prorate your membership if you upgrade to become a professional. So this is, again, if you answered mostly false, you're not sure if you want to do this as a business, you want to just learn about getting your own photos organized. It's a great community, and you're doing this together with everybody. But now let's take a look at what our professional membership is. So our professional membership is $599 a year or $175 a quarter, and we've got a great deal for you all in a moment that I'll show you too. So what's included in professional membership is significantly more training. We call it almost like you get a business in a box. We don't really send you a box, but it includes a tremendous amount of training and support. We have what we call our core foundation. That includes courses. We have credibility, community, competency, and collaboration. So our overall philosophy is a rising tide lifts all boats, and we're collaborative, not competitive. And so we build our community through regional meetings, a private Facebook group, which is like a 24-hour support hotline, monthly networking meetings, and all sorts of other things. But one of our core foundations is education. So one of the is included in your membership is going to be how do you what we call our photo organizing business foundation course, how to scan photos, lines, and negatives, printed photo organizing made easy, and partnerships. I realized got lost track there in my slides for a minute. I'm sorry with my notes. So I'm a little bit off in how I'm reading this. So we have we have core curriculum that includes those core courses. We do monthly training webinars, and we have all sorts of resources for our members. And everything that we do is recorded and added to our training vault. Now, another benefit of membership is our partners, that we have significant discounts for many companies that offer you, who are looking to have a relationship with you. For instance, Archival Methods is a great company out of Rochester, New York. We even have our own login. You get 40% off their retail price of their products that you can then turn around and charge full price to your clients or pass that savings on to them. And it's a long list of companies that we work really closely with. And if you are a person who likes to geek out and you like technology, we have quite a few companies that are in beta. A lot of companies that are creating technology solutions to all of these issues find us. And so we also have opportunities for you to help clients and companies build better technology to help serve the clients that they're trying to work with. Now, early on when I started this, I knew certification would be critical, because really working with personal photos, people's photos, is really personal work. And we want to make sure before we list people as a certified member on our website through our directory, and many of our members get clients through our directory, is that you're certified. And so that's included again in your membership. You go through a training course, and really we're teaching best practices at that point. And the key of that, though, is to do a client project to start to finish. You document the process. And we know while you're documenting that process, you're using best practices. Like, you send us an example of a estimate. You send us an example of how you return the project. When you're finished, you send us an example of logs of how often you've been in touch with the client, because all of that is going to make you a better photo manager. And then you have an interview with me, and we check your references, and we talk to your client. And at that point, you become certified. So, okay, are you still with me? I know I just went through a lot really quickly. But now I'm just going to quickly walk through the special offer that we had. We did this last for the How To Summit folks, which I'm assuming most of you are. We've just made this landing page live again. And because we were really excited to meet you all and to introduce you to photo organizing, since we knew it was a new concept for so many of you. Just like Brandy and Ryan were unfamiliar with us and unfamiliar what we do. So we put together our photo manager. The first package is called the Photo Manager and Training. That's our photo manager training. You get that included. Plus, you get a 1-year subscription to Mylio, which is an amazing digital photo organizing software program that most of us use for our clients and for ourselves. And we added our Privacy Advocate course, which is worth $129. This will teach you everything you need to know, and it's actually worth buying on your own, if not, about how to deal with privacy issues, using clients' passwords, and your own privacy issue. And a lot of our members have taken that course and then offer privacy training to their clients as well. And so this is normally, it would be $527. You're being able to purchase this for the $299, which is the cost of being just a photo manager and training. So you save $228. Then we put together what we called our professional quick start package. And this is for those of you that really know you want to jump in and become a professional. We are including membership, which I mentioned was $599, which includes all of the things, but it also includes an additional, significant amount of additional training. Every November, we do a How to Price Yourself Marketing and Monetize Boot Camp. It's normally $399, and we've included that. It's actually happening in a couple of weeks. It's November 14th. We've also learned that the way people learn is not through a all-day boot camp, right? You have to implement what you've been taught. So on December 6th, we have a full day where you'll come back together with the people that you met with, and we'll be talking about how have you implemented what you learned. So you'll have virtual and lifetime access to that. We also include our Privacy Advocate bundle plus our legacy preservation specialist, because there's a growing need in the market for people who want legacy services. And you get our Mylio subscription and their certification. What's great about Mylio is if you go to their website, they have a concierge section where they actually send clients to professional photo managers who have been trained in how to use their software product. And so that's all included. This is $999, so you'll be saving $1,533 if you're interested in this package. Again, it's only available for 1 week. And then our last rapid revenue roadmap package, which is all of the things that I've already included, but it also includes every year we do an educational conference. This is our 13th conference. We'll be in San Diego. We just announced 13 of our breakout sessions. You can see it on our website. And also our masterclass program, where Darla, who is on here, Caroline Gunther, and Jill Yesko have been our coaches. This starts in December, and it's a small group training where you work with those coaches. They're both professional photo managers, but also highly skilled and very successful coaches. And you work with this small group over 4 months, and then you meet together in San Diego for a full day meeting right before the conference starts. Those members that have gone through, every one of those members that have that 6-figure income and have gone through a masterclass program, we know it works, and we included that. And so again, this would be, you'd be saving $1,253, so it's $2,600. So those are available at the website, at the link that I'm sure Mary is putting in there. And again, we also, if you grab your phone, if you want to look at the package comparison, you can see the chart for full details of the different packages that we have. And so that was kind of, again, it's 1 week only, and it expires November 6th at midnight. Again, here's our QR code if you want to check that out, or you can go to the Photo Managers /HowToSummit24. We did have quite a few people take advantage of some of this at the How To Summit. We just decided, why don't we just bring it back for 1 week based on this webinar? But again, if that's not the right time for you, we understand that too. We don't want to put a lot of sales pressure. I mean, what we give as just a regular member is amazing value, and you're welcome to just join at the, at any point at the membership levels that we also offer. Last of all, we'd love you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested, there's some things if you want to meet other photo managers. Every month I do a career advice from a pro. So you can go there. In fact, I have one today with Andy Willis, who's been one of those longtime members and has moved her business 3 different times. So where I ask the same 5 questions. How do you find your clients as a photo manager? What do you love about your business? What don't you love? What is the advantage of being a member of the photo manager? And any advice that you would give to anybody just started out. So we have a lot of history of those kind of on our YouTube channel. Plus we have lots of training and different webinars that we do about photo management. And we need to upgrade this slide because we only have 374 subscribers when we did that slide, and we've passed over 3,000 subscribers now. So we're excited about our growing YouTube channel and helping the world know that you can hire a photo manager for help. So that is it. I am now going to stop sharing my screen. Hope I didn't talk too fast and come off mute. Let me and see if what kind of questions that people have. Right. See, oops, there we go. Video. Okay. Hope I didn't overwhelm you all with all of that. How was that? Brandy or Ryan, you got any thoughts quick before we go in and jump in to see what kind of questions that people have?
Wow, that's amazing. I guess I would maybe just for us slow people out here like me, what is the easiest and like the quickest way to get started in this?
Okay, good question. Yeah, then all the options that I just laid out, right? I think the quickest and easiest, if you're gonna do it as a pro, is join our professional level. And the easiest way in a lot of times is scanning. You know, people have analog photos, everybody's got them. It's not hard to do scanning. There's two scanners that we recommend. One is called the Epson Fast Photo. It's like $4.99 or $5.25, and the Epson V600, which is a flatbed. Those are eventually you'll upgrade to a different level of scanning, but that's a fast money in your pocket right off the bat. And everybody needs photo scanned. It doesn't take a lot of skill and things like that. If you're already digital savvy and you're comfortable, like, you know, your own photos, then digital photo organizing is a great added business model as well. So hopefully those are, and go back to your clients. I mean, the first thing I would do is when we do a new member orientation, and the first thing I always tell our new members, we average about 25 to 30 new members a month, is get your first client and then learn. I have behind me, Everything is Figure Outable by Marie Forleo, but that's how I got my business started. In some ways, you'll figure it out because you'll meet the need that the client has as well. So, and we're there to help you. And we have an amazing supportive community. You're not going to come up against something that nobody else has seen. And we have people will support you along the way and help you make sure that you provide the right services to your client as well. All right, so Mary, do you want to read off if there's questions in there?
I think Darla already answered one of the questions, but it was that what if you don't like tech or are minimally tech savvy?
Yeah, you know, we have lots of members like that, especially members that joined early on when they were dealing mostly with analog photos. Some of our members only deal with analog photos and they outsource it. For instance, Holly, I know, does a lot of outsourcing. She's part of she's like part of their team in a way, right? Even though she has her own business and things like that. A lot of our members that don't want to do digital photo organizing will say, I have a great team member, you know, and so I'll manage the analog and the non-tech piece of it, and then I'll turn this over to my team member who will do that piece of it. So that's not uncommon at all. Bonnie Hillman Shea in Chicago only does large analog photo collection. She's had a very successful business for many, many years, and she doesn't want to deal with the tech piece of it at all. Let's see. Only one question. I was like, did I answer it that well? That's amazing. that would be great if I did.
One more actually, Cathi. What do you do exactly as a part of the digital photo organizing part, sorting into folders? How do you do this without the client to give context on the photos?
So the first thing we recommend, the first thing with digital photos is that you gather, that you create a digital photo hub on your computer, which would probably be on an external hard drive, right? So the first thing is first thing you're going to do is make sure that your client has backed up their photo collection. You're never going to be working with any of their digital photos that aren't backed up. And you would teach them, if they don't know how to do that, you would walk them through the process, make sure that they have everything backed up. Then you want to create a digital photo hub on your computer, which you would be using an external hard drive that would be the client's photos, their digital photos. And then from there, it's a lot of times it's merging analog photos with digital photos. It's running deduplication software through those photos, because there's great software that speeds up this process, and we have lots of training and lots of courses about how you use some of that software. So you're asking the question probably right, because you're not thinking of it you're thinking of it as how you would approach it as a consumer, which is different than how a professional will approach it, because there's speed tools. And sometimes a lot of our members have learned Lightroom. They didn't start out knowing Lightroom, but they'll move the client's photo collection into Lightroom, where they can add the metadata, quickly sort it, and then give it back to the client in the format that they're interested in. A folder structure is a wonderful way to give back a photo collection. And if you're adding the right tags and the keywords and metadata so people can find it long into the future, that's also a critical piece of the process. How we'll know what photos are important. Most of our members have a philosophy: they never delete or throw away photos without, so they will return. We don't throw away photos, nor do we delete. What you do is you put them in a separate folder, like you delete this folder, or the question photos, even when you're going through a client's printed photo collection. I know this is always so hard for people to realize, but members have been doing this for years. We have a lot of workflows. Working with a timeline and things, it's really not that hard to go through a family photo collection and decide which ones are the best photos. But if there's any questions, you can send like a snapshot, a screenshot. You can create a question folder on your computer, and then you go through it quickly with the client. I wasn't sure about this. What do you think? And then as you get to know the client, you're going to be able to make those decisions pretty quickly with them. But nobody ever will delete or throw away photos. And most of our members won't even if a client insists that you throw away their photos, maybe their printed collection, most of our members will not do that. It's in their contract, because they don't want to take any chances that the client will have regret and come back and say, "No, I didn't want you to do that." So I see this question from Matt. In bringing people's personal photos into your home, how do you work? Do you have insurance coverage or part of the contract in the event? Again, that's all built into the contract. There is an insurance about the value of photos. They're considered they can't really put a dollar figure on it. Many of our members have business insurance. And I'm sure Darla can answer that in there as well. But again, we also have a whole training on how you do an inventory before you take the photos out of their home. So you're going to take photos, you're going to document, I took 6 blue albums, 7 red albums. Here's the picture of, this bin, and here's a picture of this bin. And then you have the client, agree to that. That's what you've taken. So that way you're protecting yourself and the client. So if you're unsure if this is something that worked well with your organizing business, or if you'd really want to add it and just want to try it out, maybe with just a simple scanning offering, what's the best way to do that without a huge upfront investment? Then if it really picks up steam, then invest in this wonderful membership opportunity. Carrie, that's a great, I guess I would start with maybe going back to your existing clients and ask them, say that you've learned about this opportunity to add photo organizing to your business, that it's a growing need and everybody's overwhelmed. Is this something that you would be interested in? And if so, maybe have a checkbox or something, like I have analog photos I'd like scanned, or I have home movies that need to be converted, or I need help with my, my digital photo collection, and maybe see what your most common response is. And then based on that response, pick the one that you feel most comfortable with, and then pick the client maybe that the best, that, you could tell them that it's kind of a learning curve and you're using them as and then I would complete the project, document your processes and things, and see how that helps. Did that answer your question, Carrie? I hope it kind of gave you some ideas there.
Oh, Cathi, I have a thought also. I think of like in the business that we do, we really have a leg up on anyone else just starting, because we're in people's homes all the time. So we're seeing people's boxes of photos, we're seeing their keepsakes, we're seeing all this stuff. And so I think it's really gives us an advantage of already seeing a mess and being able to address it right then. Like, hey, our business, we actually just started taking on photo management. And that's like a great kind of like open door to speak to a client about offering this. So I think that,
yeah.
I think already being an organizer, I think like this is such a natural segue that I think it will actually be a little even easier than we think.
We've had many, I just put a few websites. If you go to thephotomanagers.com and go to our website, find a pro, and just kind of start scrolling through the different, you'll see there is where, all the certified members are, and you can start to look at their different websites. Everybody has their own unique brand and website, and you can start to see the offerings. But I've spoken numerous times at NAPO, and in early on started the photo managers actually in response to the fact that nobody was doing photo organizing 15 years ago. And so there are many residential organizers who have added it. It might seem a little bit newer, but it is something that people have been doing. But I agree with your idea, Brandy. The other thing is what we love to tell people though, is also if you're not interested in adding this as a business, form a referral partnership with another professional photo manager, maybe in your area, who does want to do it. And that way a lot of our, then you work out the referral arrangement. I've heard everything from some members do, 10% of a project up to $500. Some people just, give you a really great gift card. But it's really not uncommon to work together really closely. And then a lot of our members do presentations at their local library. You go in and talk about, how to organize, whatever your specialty is it's getting your, the kids' playroom or your kitchens, and I don't want to, and then the photo manager talks about photo managing, and you're out there in your community talking to people about the needs that you both have. So my son does this full time here in West Hartford. He's got a great relationship with House of Harmony and another residential organizer. They don't want to do the photo, so they give Joshua the photo piece, and then he refers clients back to them, and it works really well. The other quick thing about the scanning app on an iPhone, we don't really recommend that you use a phone as a scanning app. It's much better quality for the client if you're actually scanning a photo with an actual scanner and things like that. That is for the DIY person maybe that wants to just do it themselves, but you don't want to be offering scanning using a phone app. It's the quality of the photo, even though it looks like it on a screen, but if you had to go reprint that and things like that, the quality isn't near what it needs to be. Deduping software, people use, I think I'm trying to remember now if Darla, you can drop that in there, on a Mac and a PC. There's two different ones that people use. I'm not the photo manager right now, so I'm going to draw a blank for a second on there's two different ones, one that people love for Mac and one that people love for PC. And technology, I just was at a conference, a Visual First conference, it's called. It was the AI, like we have a meeting tomorrow, we have a webinar tomorrow with a company that we're partnering with, which is using AI to go through, vast amounts of photos very, very quickly. AI is really speeding up the process for photo managers, but these are products that are being created for B2B, not B2C.
Yeah, Cathi, I'm sorry, I had to get off mute there.
Oh, thanks. Good. I'm glad you're off mute, Marla. You can come off on camera if you want to.
Yeah, no, I'm actually at a client's house. We're doing some organizing. So I'm just gonna try and answer that question. So the question about favorite deduping software, there's actually several based on whether you're a Mac or a PC or what your client needs, whether you're doing kind of a top of the waves or multiple passes. And so the one I'll mention for the Mac we like a whole lot is Photo Sweeper, but there's a couple that we like on the PC as well. The thing about software though is on a question like that, is that your best photo organizers, I think, are the ones who are kind of open to learning, the best tools that they want to have in their own tool bag, and then being open to like learning again when things change, because that is, I think, the benefit of being with the photo managers is this space when you're talking about the technology and the software, things are always changing. And, I'm always tapping my colleagues, many of which Cathi has mentioned already today. And I'm always tapping them and say, what do you think about, this tool that we've had for 10 years? Are you still using it? And that's why we go to conference. That's why we really lean on each other all the time, and home organizing. I mean, I'm a home organizer too, and I have my team here in this house. We're labeling today. My label maker is literally the second thing that I bought when I started the business 20 years ago, and she's still running. So, that's been a really stable piece of technology in our business. But when you organize a pantry or you organize a closet, not much is changing, right, from day to day, and there's a little more learning that goes on in the photo organizing realm, which I personally love. And I know a lot of my colleagues who are also dual photo organizers and home organizers, we love it because, I mean, let's face it, don't you kind of get bored doing the same thing day after day after day? So, we like to be able to have the time in with the client. And then we also like to have the projects that we're working on. Cathi kind of said it, kind of fitting those around. Maybe I don't really have slow times anymore, but we are able to structure our time so that I'm not blowing out the team's energy in a given week, or it's a way of managing your business so that you can give yourself a break and you can keep things interesting, and you can just do what you love to do, but it doesn't have to just be one thing. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, great. It's great to have, and you're there in somebody's home right now. Yeah. And Darla does multiple different types of projects for people. What's the average cost of the tech you need to start out? It's a very low barrier to entry cost wise, because besides the scanners, you're going to be investing in some external hard drives again. You'll eventually want a computer with good RAM and good that with fast processing speeds and things like that, but not right off the bat. You can start kind of with a slower process. So thanks, Lauren. So yeah, hopefully that gave you some ideas. I think at the end of the day, like Darla said, we do talk about this too. A key of a good photo manager, because I've been doing this a long time, and I've watched, members that have kind of come and gone about like, oh, maybe this isn't right for me, is one, is I say you have to love people and love stories, right? And I think already by nature, you're going to be a people person. I could see it at the How To Summit. It was the same kind of vibe of energy, right? There's just like, you don't want to help other people with their stuff and things, or their photos and memories, if you're not just interested in people and curious about all the things that they have. So I think that deep care for people and wanting to help them find a path forward, curiosity is really key. And then also a willingness to learn, try again. So for instance, Apple just made the biggest change to their photos. If you all got confused because you couldn't find your photos when you upgraded your Apple recently on the software program. We already have a webinar scheduled in another 2 weeks with our Apple genius. His name is Paul Aronson. He was an Apple genius bar guy. He's our go-to guy in our Facebook group. Everybody asked Paul, oh my gosh, I can't, I exported all these albums out of an iPhone, an Apple library, and what happens when this happens? And people answer all the time. So we do a lot of tech support. It's included in it's part of who we are. It happens on our Facebook page, but a lot of members DM each other and things like that. There's no way you're going to learn all the tech. And so we have members that are really proficient on PC. We have members that are really proficient on Macs, and they help each other out all the time. Like Darla said, she, checks in with other people. So. And that's why the client needs us, because think about how hard it is. I mean, we used to just take our photos to a 1-hour photo lab and drop them off and get 24, doubles back, right? In an envelope that you put in the drawer that you've all seen in people's houses. It's not like that anymore. It's really much more complicated. And video is a whole nother frontier, of it, right? We're taking lots and lots more videos and things. But at the end of the day, I'll just end with it's still what they matter. It still matters. Like, here comes Halloween, right? How many of you are going to take pictures of your kids dressed up for Halloween, or yourself, right? It's just what you're going to do. And then how many would you love to see the photos of when they were their first Halloween costumes, and the Halloween costume when they were 10? And then those are the things, that's what we care about. And that's the work that we do, is helping people with those kind of memories. So Brandy and Ryan, any further thoughts before we sign off?
I think it's great. I think it's been really helpful. Cathi, there was one question that someone said, what's the average cost of the tech you need to start out?
Yeah, I was saying it's very minimal. I couldn't even give a cost on the tech, only because it depends on what their computer is, if they have to upgrade maybe to like a faster processing computer. But the tech piece of it, the bigger investment is learning. Honestly, your biggest investment is we have what we call our core curriculum, and it's included in membership. And that $5.99, you're going to get how to organize a client's printed photos as a photo organizer, not as your own photos. How to, what is digital photo organizing, like what's a ping file, what does resolution mean, all those kind of things that you kind of know but you don't really know. And then how to scan photos and negatives, all included in membership. But then from there, if you really want to do a deep dive into just becoming highly Mac proficient, then we do have additional courses that we recommend people don't spend a lot of money on additional learning until they need it, but it's there when they're ready for it. And that's where the investment, probably the biggest investment, comes.
What is something funny you hit on? What the things we think we know, but we actually don't really know. And that's so great. When you said, how do you scan negatives? I don't know. That thought never crossed my mind. So I think that's great. I think it's a great price. I think that I can speak for Ryan and I, we've spent a lot more and gotten a lot less. And so
that's the truth.
Yeah, I think that's really great. And I think this is just such a great offering. We're excited about it, talking about it for our business. And, those times when it's like maybe in-person organizing is slow, but this is something else that you could ramp up. And it's just a great way to diversify. So
Thank you.
I,
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's
Well,
great. I
and
think it's been incredibly helpful, Kathy.
And also, I mean, I'm sitting here and I don't have a back to my to my chair, so it's like, oh, my back is hurting. And physically, I'm not old, but I'm getting older and I'm feeling being on my feet for 10 hours a day on those days. And then it like takes me out for 2 days after. And so we are looking for things at Home Sorters. How do we keep this sustainable? And so us kind of getting into digital organizing is a really, it's a great pathway to long-term success for us from what we can tell.
It really isn't, one other thing I'll mention, just I just got off the phone with another company today. What's really been interesting, and I didn't expect this, but in the past 2 years, I keep putting my hand up because my cat is probably against my desk. Because of course, is that we've become, what's really interesting to me is technology companies find us. All these companies that are creating technology to address this problem, the consumer isn't looking for them and they get frustrated. They find us and they've realized we're the liaison between their technology and their customer, because they can't afford to just hire, outsource tech support to, a call center somewhere. And so we already have it with Mylio and with Trustworthy, which Trustworthy was also at your conference, was where these companies are partnering with us to offer our services. They're bringing the clients to them. And I just got off the phone with another really cool company out of doing amazing stuff in England, who's working with like really high end people that are really into antique cars. Believe it or not, it's like this huge, it's like he said, it's this huge niche, very, very wealthy individuals. They're really into like showing what kind of cars they have. They need photo managers to go in and do the digital asset management. And they're looking at referring our members to their high-end customer base. I mean, it's just, we're getting more and more of that. So in the future, like you're saying, from that physical piece, it's not only going to be you finding the clients yourself, it's going to be these technology companies. If you've become proficient in their technology and you believe in their technology, they're going to send you the clients or they're going to collect, like Mylio collects the money they do 3-hour packages on their website. They collect the money from the client, they pay the professional photo manager. So you get a client, you already got your 3 hours of billing time paid. And then from there, you get to continue on in a relationship with that client. So that's a growing opportunity that is not something I expected, but I've been watching it happen over the last year or two. And I'm really pursuing it as another great opportunity because at the end of the day, for me as the founder of the photo managers, and I know Brandy, Ryan, you guys are really excited too about helping. I really believe firmly is we should just be helping each other. Every small business owner, listen, we're all out there schlepping and doing our, everything's figured out. We're working really hard. And the more successful we all can be, the more successful everybody else can be. And that's honestly my true heart of how I feel about this. And with our members, you become part of our community. I want you to be as successful as possible, make a lot of money, serve clients really well, and have, a decent lifestyle. So I think that's the final thoughts I want to say on that. And again, a rising tide lifts all boats. So we're all here to help one another be the best that we can be. So that'll be it. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Oh, Darla, you pop back on. You just gonna have any final thoughts, or you just
Well, if we have just 1 minute, I think we might have lost a few people when we started talking about the technology. And I just wanted to say, there is technology in what we do, but you don't have to be a tech expert. In fact, most of us are not. Like most of us get into the business because we love, we love telling stories, and the training, the community and the training and the learning it's all going to be there for you when you need it. There's been a couple of questions in the chat about like, what if you do this kind of organizing, or what if you don't, what if you don't have the equipment for that, or, how much do you have to spend to get into it? Like that is honestly, it's not the biggest question, right? The biggest question, I think, again, I'm a home organizer who added photo organizing about 12, 15 years ago. And what you do is you take your first job. And if you don't have the skills that's needed to do that job, you either learn them or you partner with somebody in the community in the photo organizing community who can help you learn, or, who can do that part of the job. I remember when I first started organizing photos, I was like, I'm never scanning. I hate scanning. I'm never scanning. Like, I don't want to stand there at a machine and scan. It was like, I don't want to do it. And then we outsourced that for about 5 years, and I didn't like what I was getting back. So I was like, you know what, we're going to start scanning, and how hard can it be? And now I still don't scan, but I have a team who loves scanning. Like when we're in the office, they love scanning. So, so the first thing is, don't be scared about the tech. There is something you'll need to learn, but there's time to do it. And the second thing is, and we teach people this in the masterclass too, don't go buy stuff, get your clients first and then make the investment, right? So the ROI is always positive. So there you go.
Do that. Yeah. Positive ROI is really important. So, all right. Thanks, Darla. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Brandy and Ryan, as always, thank you so much for your support. And it's been a pleasure getting to know your community. I look forward to continuing to be part of it and get to know everybody and see where this takes us. Take care, everybody.